So our industry has a bit of a bad reputation for creating boring e-learning. I know nobody wants to take boring e-learning that puts them to sleep, and I know that as instructional designers, none of us want to make boring e-learning, so that's why I'm sharing this video. We're going to take a look at 3 quick and easy ways to gamify your learning experiences, making them more engaging, more fun, more effective, and memorable, so that when your audience is going through your e-learning experience, they learn a lot better, and when potential hiring managers or clients are going through your portfolio and your projects, they're a lot more engaged and a lot more excited about working with you. So let's dive in. I have a lot of examples lined up for you. So first, let's take a look at what gamification actually is. So gamification is when you add game-like elements to non-game experiences like e-learning. And it's not just about making the learning experience fun, it's about holding your audience's attention, keeping them engaged and motivated so that they actually remember what they learn, right? We don't ever want the game elements to distract and take away from the learning experience. We want the game elements to enhance it so that people are actually learning better and meeting the goals better. So gamification can never replace good instructional design, but adding a gamified layer to an already good learning experience is like the gold standard. So if you can incorporate these game-based elements to reinforce the learning objectives and the learning goals, your audience is going to really love you, I'd say. So the first method here that we can use to gamify is storytelling. So we want to engage our audience emotionally and set a clear goal for them so that they're working towards something. Now, when we incorporate storytelling like this, we're not just answering quiz questions, we're completing a mission, solving a mystery, surviving a scenario, etc. It's really a creative writing exercise. So you don't need a huge budget for this. You just need to use your creativity. You can, of course, use AI tools to help you if you need to. But yeah, when you can write a compelling story or compelling scenarios, you're creating intrinsic motivation. So learners have that pull of what happens next. They want to complete the learning experience and keep going to figure out how the story ends. So before we move too much further, I want to share with you this climbing to CreditVille e-learning experience I made. This was back when I was a grad student in like 2017 or 2018. It won me an award back then. But yeah, it's used very simple multimedia, but a strong storytelling aspect. I'm going to play a clip of this for you here.
This is James. He just graduated college and got a job at an advertising agency. Hi, James. This is where he lives, Nickel City. He likes it, but he has his eyes set on something bigger. This is CreditVille. It's clean, trendy, and wonderful. It's everything that James has ever wanted. But there's a catch. To live in CreditVille, your credit score needs to be above 800. Right now, James has no credit and no accounts. So, that's where you come in. You need to help James build his credit over the next 10 years so that he can get his dream home in CreditVille.
So there we have it. Yeah, I built that again like 7 or 8 years ago now, but that story is what really drew people in and got people motivated. And the graphics were all grabbed from Peck or similar sites, so it wasn't very graphically intensive. I had that background music and I recorded my own voice. So yeah, a little multimedia rich, right? It's a bit more than text based, but that story is what really did a lot of the heavy lifting there. So let's look at some other examples. So the first one, like we just saw an example of, is introducing a character with a clear goal. And you probably want this character to mirror people who are in the job role that your learner is. And you want the goal to be similar to a goal that you actually want your audience to have on the job, of course. You can also frame quiz questions as scenarios. So this is probably the lowest hanging fruit approach to incorporating storytelling. Instead of asking a question like, what should an operator do if they smell smoke on the job site? You could reframe that as, Susie is a new operator and, as she's heading to the break room for lunch, she notices a faint smell of smoke in the hallway. What should Susie do? Right? So that already makes it a bit more story driven. And then we can show scenario-based consequences based on the answer choice that the user selects. So if they say that Susie should report it to the supervisor, maybe then we see, the supervisor's happy and the team's happy because Susie caught a fire before it spread. But if Susie decides to do nothing and eat lunch first, maybe then we see that the office building go up in flames and we're out of work now because we need to wait for the office to get repaired, for example. So you can show those kind of scenario-based consequences that are based on the story to make the learning experience a lot more memorable and engaging. And then you can use other elements to immerse us in the setting or the scene as well. So visuals like, full screen background videos, or just supporting graphics, sound effects, ambient background sound effects like fire crackling, or, a smoke overlay on that screen where we're smelling the smoke. Those things can make it a lot more immersive and draw us into the story more, making it a bit more memorable and engaging. And then branching scenarios, right? This is a bit more complex. It's a bit higher production value, but that can make the story a lot more personalized. And if you're new to branching, it's where, based on our answer choices, we have different outcomes, kind of like a choose your own adventure story. So branching, again, higher production value, but can really take that storytelling to the next level. So here's some guidance I have for you when it comes to storytelling. You want to ask yourself, who is the learner in this world? Like, who is the main character? Maybe that's the learner themselves and it's a first person experience, or maybe it's a character with similar characteristics to our intended audience. We want to ask ourselves what they're trying to do or accomplish, what's at stake if they get it wrong, and what challenges will they face along the way. That's a really good way to come up with our questions that are going to kind of guide the narrative. And of course, we want these challenges to be tied to the learning objectives, right? What do we want people to actually do on the job, and what happens if they get it wrong? So there's some guidance. I want to show you another example before we move on. This is the newest project in the Storyline Project Lab. I've showed it off on some YouTube videos before, but I just want to start this and show you how we set up the story. So Sabrina Gonzalez and I worked on this, and she did a really good job with the storytelling in the beginning. So you wake up in an unfamiliar world, the hum of machinery echoing in the distance, the sky looks strange, almost digital. So we're setting the setting here. Disoriented, you struggle to make sense of your surroundings. The world feels off. Wait, did you lose a heart? It must be from the disorientation. So we have a simple heart meter going on here to add that gamified element. And we're going to get into some other ones, of course, next. But as you steady yourself, a voice crackles to life nearby. So notice the imagery. Notice that we're setting the scene. We're introducing this character now. We're in this digital limbo created by the glitch. So we're introducing this boss character. And, there isn't any time. You don't belong here, and we need to get you out of here. How do we get back home? So we're setting up the goal here. The glitch controls everything. It's twisted this world to make it escape nearly impossible. To get back home, you'll need to defeat it. How are we supposed to do that? The glitch is clever, but its biggest weakness is knowledge. If you can see through its tricks, you can disrupt its control over the Digivoid. It'll distort everything you see. It thrives on confusion. So we have to figure out the difference between what's real and what's artificial. And that's what the whole learning experience is about. It's about differentiating between what's AI generated and what's human created. So if you want to experience this whole thing for yourself, it's on the Storyline Project Lab landing page right now. Again, that's our course where you build 9 projects like this, and we're doing a big sale this week that I'll tell you more about later if you're interested. But let's dive back into the presentation here. So the next method is rewards. So incorporating rewards via a feedback loop. This is where we're essentially giving learners that dopamine hit for doing something well or doing something right. And here's the loop, right? The learner takes some sort of action, like answering a quiz question correctly, for example. We give them some kind of reward, and we're going to take a look at a lot of examples of that soon. The learner hopefully feels some motivation for receiving that reward, and they want to get that reward again, so they're going to take the action again that got them there, like trying to answer another quiz question correctly. So that's the idea with setting up these feedback loops and giving these rewards that might feel meaningful or valuable to the user. It's essentially positive reinforcement that inspires the learner to keep going and makes the project more motivating. So yeah, it's immediate feedback, right? It immediately lets us know that we did something well and right, and it encourages us to keep doing it. And generally, these rewards are collectible or progress-oriented. So we want to give learners the impression that they're building something or accomplishing something and making that forward progress. So we're going to look at some actual examples soon, but here are just some in text form. So a visual success indicator for progression, cosmetic upgrades, and we're going to take a look at some examples of that. Virtual currencies that they can spend in like a virtual shop, or badges to kind of signify that achievement. Now, I want to say before we look at these examples, in 2 days from when this video goes live, so I believe April 17th, we are hosting a free live workshop where we're actually going to build out some of these gamified elements in Storyline 360. So my idea currently is we're going to build this kind of currency shop. So learners earn coins for like answering questions correctly or completing modules, and then they can spend those coins on different cosmetic items for like a virtual office space, as well as earn badges that they can like hang on the wall of that virtual office space. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're probably going to go for 90 minutes, and yeah, it's completely free. So I hope to see y'all there live. Let's take an example here at some of these rewards though. So this is Daniel Guimont's project. We're essentially doing some training for some soldiers, and you can see now we have, of course, have that story-driven element as well. Your mission starts now with the clock ticking. It's up to you to design a training program that builds strength, resilience, and real-world readiness. Let's get to work. All right, time for that first PT session. So we are in charge. Picture bullets flying. The team needs to react. Let's design a regimen that will lead. And this is our mentor who's just a call away with if we need any questions or if we need any support. And then which exercise would be most effective for preparing our troops for the demands of running to cover? Let's do this intermittent sprints to prone position. So now we get this little battle scene. The soldiers are doing well, so they're executing their drills with precision. So we did well. And now let's see this next screen. So you can see we're leveling up. So all these soldiers are leveling up. We're getting that immediate sense of visual progress. We're seeing our team get stronger. So that's a really cool way to incorporate this reward. This feedback loop, I guess I should say, in an e-learning course like this. This is another really cool project by Sophia Pastor. Let's check it out. So when you start the e-learning experience, you get to choose your cyber warrior. And then it kind of loads a simulation. We get a lot of introductory content. I'm just going to skip ahead to, I've already answered the first question here correctly. We're getting an email now from IT Tech Jim that there was a data breach, but because we selected the right choice, we weren't affected by it. So now check this out. We earn a chest piece for our character. And we get this nice level up screen, a nice sound effect. And there we go. We passed level 1. Our chest plate is leveled up. We now wear the Sentinel plate. It means that our software is up to date. So yeah, a nice cosmetic upgrade, a nice visual indicator of our progress and success. This one's really cool too. This one's by Cristiano Racau. These are some boot campers that we work with who have done our courses. If you want to see a lot of other examples of e-learning like this, you can visit our showcase, which I'll link to in the description. But yeah, here we go. This is about traveling solo as a female traveler. And we're having the hotel front desk call us a taxi right now. We head outside to wait. And you can tell these visuals are really striking. These are all AI generated. So yeah, really well done here. It's been 25 minutes since the taxi was called. We're concerned that we'll be late to the appointment. Okay, so we're feeling some time pressure here. Now when the taxi finally arrives, we talk to the driver and yeah, he seems legit. He's polite, he's professional. What should we do? I'm going to choose the correct option here. We're going to send photos of everything. We feel safer now. The driver notices it. He sits up straight. He's ready to go. And then look, we earn this stamp in our passport. So as we keep answering correctly throughout this e-learning experience, this page fills up with these passport stamps. So yeah, you know, if you're a traveler, you know, this is something that is very intrinsically motivating for you, right? You want, or maybe somewhat extrinsic since it's a stamp of approval basically. But yeah, it's fun collecting those passport stamps. Christiana knew this about her audience and she incorporated it into the learning experience. So yeah, we want to keep earning those stamps. So we want to keep answering these questions correctly. And then I'll show you one more example with this progress meter. Again, if you've been around for a while, you've probably seen this. This is the 8th project in the Storyline Project Lab, where we show you how to build a progress meter like this based off of variables. And you've probably seen many different examples of these going forward. But yeah, we're diving into an interview. We want to answer these questions correctly. The interviewer is asking why we would like to work with them. We can just say, oh, we want those benefits. And now we see our progress is moving away from success. But obviously, if we get it right, it moves towards the happy interviewer. So yeah, you can check out all of these projects with links in the description. And again, if you want to join us in the Storyline Project Lab, we will build these projects together. All right, let's dive over here into the third method. So challenges and leaderboards. So people like to win, right? Challenges activate curiosity, mastery, and pride, right? It gives people a reason to keep playing, keep trying to get better, to push themselves. So yeah, we want to not just feel motivated to keep going, but we want to feel motivated to move towards mastery and feel proud of what we've learned. So challenge is going to add a lot of energy to a learning experience. It can draw people in quite a bit, and it adds that low risk pressure, right? It's still a learning experience at the end of the day. If we don't answer something correctly, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, we feel a little pressure on ourselves to do better and to perform well. So it makes practice and assessment experiences feel more fun, more engaging, and less stale and dry. And yeah, instead of just passively clicking a next button or passively watching a video, we're actively trying to do well and answer things correctly. So here's some examples. So we could have a timed quiz or beat the clock exercise. So these time-based challenges, and these make the most sense when on the job, there's going to be a time pressure as well to answer correctly or to do well. And we can also offer streak-based rewards for answering multiple questions correctly in a row, even if that's just like a nice visual indicator or sound effect, or yeah, some kind of nice reinforcement that we're answering correctly, some kind of streak counter like that. Also boss battles. So I'm going to show you an example of this from our AI project, that Storyline Project Lab one, where when we get to the end and we need to take that final assessment, we're essentially battling some kind of boss. So it just adds that nice gamified component to it. And then you can also add leaderboards. So these might be a little bit more effort, especially if you want to do a global leaderboard where your learner can see how they stand against everyone else who's been completing the course, right? And you can do that in different ways. Like, only 7% of users answered this question right on the first try, or, you performed in the top 20% of everyone who's ever completed this course. Or you could have a whole leaderboard that shows like high scores if it's a score-based experience. Or you can do personal leaderboards, so like your personal best at how many questions you've answered correctly in a row, for example. So yeah, let's take a look at some examples. So this jumps way further ahead in this 9th project in the Storyline Project Lab. There's this low, distorted laugh in the distance, and the glitch is here. It's about to get messy. So now we have this boss battle going on. All right, we have a little dialogue with the boss, and then we're gonna have to actually start going for its weak spots to battle it, essentially. So here we go. Do you see those glowing spots? Those are its weak points. And if we click, and then it has a health bar, right? We need to get its health down. We can go for the kneecap here. And then this is one of those questions where the glitch is asking us what's real and which one is AI generated. And if we look at this one over here, we can see this thing, this roller coaster is kind of just going off into nothingness. So this one is the real one. We're going to click on that. And then now notice the glitch takes a hit, right? So yeah, so just a more fun way to frame this. And then also if you're interested in the leaderboard side of things, this is an old YouTube series. So this is one of the first YouTube playlists I made. It's about incorporating xAPI into learning experiences. And this is like the culminating tutorial in I think it's like a 10-part video series where you can collect all this data about how people are engaging with the learning experience, and then you can create a leaderboard that basically ranks your audience in their performance, and you can show that to your learners. So there we have it. Those are, the 3 main approaches here. So storytelling makes the content meaningful and emotionally engaging. Rewards motivate progress and give us that dopamine hit. And then challenges encourage mastery and replayability so we can keep it going. Now, if you want to learn more and you're interested in this, again, join us at that live gamification workshop. It's on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'll share the link to register in the description. The replay will be available as well. And then if you want to dive even deeper and you have a budget for some professional development, we are running our last sale of the year for the Storyline Project Lab. It's where you build over 9 e-learning experiences with my guidance and support. And then you get practice with over 10 AI tools. So it's really fun. A lot of people have built some impressive portfolio projects out of that course. And yeah, again, we just added that 9th project where you're going to get a lot of hands-on AI experience. So I love to work with you. I'd love to see you at either of these events, either at the Gamification Workshop, which is free, or in the Storyline Project Lab, which is $200 off for this week only. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. I look forward to working with you more, and I'll see you in the next one.